So yeah, back out again. Already been out once today. Come out first thing this morning, but like a numpty, I forgot to press record. Have you ever done that? I mean, especially to the ones who vlog and stuff like that, you've actually forgot to record. Because come on, Pagan. Because I always wear my action cams, I don't always, or have to use the front screen. But I will have to get more used to checking that. I just checked this before I come out. So at least I know recording now. Come on, Peggy. Good boy. Come on. Yeah, so what I said this morning, which I didn't manage to record, dork, is the keto diet's going really well. So far, so good. I think the fasting, 36-hour fasting, made a lot of difference. It sort of triggered things a little bit, kicked them off if you like. So, yeah, really good. I mean, come off the 36-hour fast. I think the last time I vlogged was about an hour or two until it was up. And then when just after 9, I made myself 4 poached eggs and a small spoon of a decent peanut butter, which hasn't got the sweeteners, preservatives or hydrogenated fat or anything else in. Plus some Waitrose. I get on Amazon like, but it's what I give myself and Pagan. There's no crap in it or anything else. And then for lunch, I had 5 hard-boiled eggs. Say hard-boiled, I like them where the yolk is still a little bit runny. And in fact, your eggs are better that way because you hard-boil them and you're sort of cooking some of the good nutrients out of them. So they always say, with your eggs, if you keep the yolk runny, it's going to be a lot better for you. So I'll make sure I'm doing that. And then around about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, I had a tin of tuna. And what I'm doing now is I'm having a smaller eating window. So my eating window, really for 3 meals, is between 9 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. Because the idea is you want to reduce that insulin in your body. Because that's the thing which is causing the problems. Now, obviously, insulin is a hormone. I'm actually insulin resistant. It's not that I'm not producing insulin. So whenever I have anything to eat, just the act of chewing. Come on, Peggy, good boy. Just the actual act of chewing will signal for insulin production. And insulin is going around my system and floods my system in preparation for the meal I'm about to have. Now, obviously, on somebody normal, that insulin binds with the glucose, which means it can then get into your cells. When you're insulin resistant, like me, what happens is something about your insulin or whatever, the hormone has changed and it doesn't bind to the glucose. So not only do you get a lot of glucose going around your bloodstream, which causes a lot of damage, you've also got the insulin, which is in your bloodstream, which isn't being used up. However, that insulin can be absorbed as visceral fat, along with the sugar. And this is fat which exercise alone won't touch, it won't get near. Come on, Pagan, come on. Oops, spin you around there. And when it rests in your body, it becomes glycogen. And the visceral fat builds up, especially around your major organs, heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, also around your abdomen, which is particularly why, spin it down a little bit, which is particularly why men tend to go what are called apple-shaped. Now the idea is, when you go into ketosis, reducing ketones, okay, your body changes its fuel source from being glucose to now being fat. And when you exercise and do all the stuff, the body needs energy. Of course it does. It goes without saying. But instead of depleting your glucose, it uses the fat. Now, even our brains use glucose as their energy source. Fat is a primary and better fuel source. And also for things like the mitochondria and everything else, because they can use it a lot better. So again, once you've got into ketosis, which can take a little bit of a while, you're producing those ketones. What you're starting to do is allow your body to eat the fat. And it also uses that visceral fat, which exercise and stuff like that won't, go on Peggy, won't do. Go on. Good boy. Where exercise alone won't touch. Come here. Let's get through that. Come here. Come here, let's get some of them buds off you. There we go, that's better. So it's already a bit of a non-brainer, really. You put your body into fat-burning mode. And you can imagine how that works for a diabetic. Okay, one, you're not taking the glucose to begin with. If you're on a ketogenic diet, you're not eating the sugars, the processed food, or anything else. So that's a big step in the right direction to begin with. Come here. Secondly, you're burning fat as opposed to glucose, which is, of course, going to appeal to everybody. And especially when you're burning or using that fat, which is dangerous. You know, you often hear of athletes, they'll suddenly drop dead. You know, even though they might run a marathon every week, because they've got copious amounts of visceral fat, which is around the major organs. A lot of people say, well, the danger of keto is because you have to eat high fats, which you do, it's around 80% of your food is from fats. They say, well, your cholesterol's going to be bad and you're going to have clogged arteries. Eating fat and cholesterol's got no correlation at all. Especially if you're eating the good fats. You're also getting it because you're coming away from processed food, which contains a lot of crap, let's be honest. Preservatives, chemicals, colourings, various agents for whatever reason. Come here. You're now having a more basic diet. And even on the ketogenic diet, your food can be improved by sourcing more natural stuff. But instead of going to the supermarket to get your food, you go to a butcher's. Typically where meat is butchered and goes straight up for sale. It doesn't go into packaging, doesn't have anything sprayed on it to make it look better. It's just natural. And even those supermarkets and the packager will say, no, it contains nothing else. Chances are it does, because food chain's massive. I don't know, and sourcing your eggs. Instead of battery eggs, as I mentioned before, you want to get pasture-fed chicken eggs because they're a lot healthier. A lot better for you. The yolk is full of nutrients. The yolk is more golden. And it tastes different. So it is worth sourcing that food. Now the thing is, when you weigh it up, yes, it is going to cost you more to get decent stuff. It's going to cost you more at the butcher's than it does at the supermarket. It's going to cost you a bit more for the eggs. But actually, when you start looking at it and weighing it up, because you're actually eating less as well, because your hunger is quenched, your appetite is quenched. You know, you're eating these fats. That means you feel fuller for longer. You know, we always used to say in the army, you know, if you can, try and get something fatty in you before the night time. You know, if you've got a chance, you can sleep. Because metabolizes slower. It keeps you warmer because you're digesting it. It keeps your calorie intake higher for less. You've got more energy to burn through. And it's very true. With the keto diet, you're getting that because you're having fats. I mean, I have roughly about just under 5% carbs in my daily meal. That's 20 grams. Based on my weight and everything else. Works out just under 5% for me. I think 5% is actually 22 grams. So you're probably looking about 4.9, 4.8%. Then there's 20% protein. 20% protein keeps me out of starting to lose any muscle mass. There's enough protein in my body to rebuild and maintain muscle. And the other 80% is fats, or 85%. And it's obviously working. I mean, today I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling strong. My eyesight's a little clearer. My thinking's a little clearer. I can tell things are changing. And again, from the keto diet, it's clearing out all the antioxidants, the oxidation which goes on, crap which is built up in your body and in your brain, things that bring on things like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other horrible diseases. It clears all them out. At the same time, reducing that dangerous fat around my cardiac system. Combine it with a bit of gentle exercise like I'm walking. I mean, I'll start my weight train next week, but it'll be a little bit lower. Just start with. And yeah, I do get the occasional sort of, I could do something to eat. What I do now, just sit down and have you know, bit of bread or something. This soon pass. I just have a cup of water, glass of water, black coffee or something, and that fills me up. And there's a lot of evidence now coming through at how much the keto diet helps people with conditions like epilepsy, even depression. Because once your body starts feeling better, you will start mentally feeling better and stronger. I do this myself, from previous experiences. I said, I'd come off it, and I sort of went downhill, slowly. I won't be coming off it this time, because now I'm remembering how I used to feel. Oh, we've seen a squirrel. Don't know if you can see it on screen. He's seen it. Action stations. But yeah, it is good. A lot of myths have been spread about this diet. A lot of false information has been spread about it. And that's because the pharmaceutical system, the medical system, does not want you to heal yourself and get yourself better. And I think, this is very controversial before, but since the truth come out about COVID and everything, and the vaccinations, I don't think anybody really trusts the medical profession anymore. They're in it just for the money. They don't want to make you well. They want to make you feel like it's dealt with a symptom of a condition. But that symptom, that problem is still there. It's getting worse all the time for you. So by their reckoning, you have to increase your dosage, which means more money for them. I mentioned in the last video, I think I put it on the screen, about the Hippocratic Oath. It makes a mockery of that. I've seen people over the years in diabetic clinics, the nurses, the consultants, the doctors, and some of them know the truth. Those who actually really care and want you to be well, okay, will agree. And they know the keto diet will fix things and do many things. And they know that their medications they give people only lead to other side effects and other symptoms and other problems coming up, which means yet another medication. And I know, I've been there. Come on, Pagan. Go on, darling. Good boy. And there are some nurses, even a couple of doctors around, who themselves, off the record of course, will say they know it works and to keep at it and encourage you to keep at it. But then, come on, pagan, we've got a different society today. Today's society relies on being given information and they just follow it. You can see this in the education system. Children are no longer encouraged to think. Instead, they just have to remember a process. And whether they get the answer right or wrong, as long as they follow the process, they still get good marks for it. I mean, my stepson, he was having trouble with his times table, and in particular 9 times table. So we showed him how to do the 9 times table on his fingers. 5 minutes, he'd got it. Next day, he went to school. They did a test, and he scored really highly on it. But at the end of the day, when we picked him up, their teacher came out and said, it's not normally like this for him. How did he do that? So I said, well, we taught him to do it on his fingers. Oh, don't do that. You're not allowed to do that anymore. We discourage that. That's wrong. Please don't interfere with what we're doing. We've got a set curriculum. I had a bit of a go at us, really. But the thing is, it's hard to get lost in the end. Can he do his 9 times table? Yes or no? Can he answer a question off it? Yes or no? Right then. Well, shut up, he's learnt it. Well, it's because he'd learnt a different way to do it. We'd showed him a different way. He just found it easier. But today, it's one of those things where we don't want you to think about it. We don't want you in any way to solve problems. Or if you do, you have to do it in a certain way, which may not be the best way. But if you don't do it in that way we've shown you, it won't count. And that's what society has turned into. That's why many budding young Einsteins, instead of solving some of the bigger problems we have, are instead asking if you'd like fries with that or not. You see it across society everywhere. The authorities, the police, the government, they obviously can't add up, work things out. And that's fairly obvious to see. The same with the police. They're told what they shouldn't do. It's got nothing to do with crime fighting these days. It's all to do with what your skin colour is, what your nationality is. That's all they're interested in. And it's not really going in favour of the native white people. But again, you've got these nurses these days which work in departments which deal with chronic illnesses such as diabetes. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the NHS is good. especially in emergency medicine, you know, serious road traffic accidents and stuff like that. You know, they can put people back together again. But where we have the problem today is with chronic illnesses, because nobody's looking into them. They just wait for another report to come out somewhere, very often by the pharmaceutical industry, and that's the protocol they have to follow. You know, some of these people are very intelligent. Some are doctors, some are consultants. And so these are the people meant to put 2 and 2 together and come out with 4. But instead they don't. Because they're told 2 and 2 equals 5 to them. 2 and 2 equals 5, and you can't tell them any different. And that's the problem where we are today. You know, and I've been in these clinics, and I've been told I'm being stupid for doing something like the keto diet. And yet those people are telling me, I've never done the keto diet. They don't know anybody who has done it. They're just making an assumption and making a judgment. And even when you show them the evidence, you show them a stable blood sugar reading. I mean, my blood sugar has been 7 for 3 days with no insulin. You know, normally it's all over the place. Anywhere from going low, from a 3, to climbing to 20, which is very high, with no extreme things I'm doing, whether that be exercise or eating. You know, staying on the same diet, doing the same sort of exercise, you know, to get that variation. It's ridiculous. And yet, now all I've done is change one aspect of my food to the keto diet, and now I'm on 7, on a scale of 7 whatever units they're measuring in, MMMOL or something. I'll put it up on screen. I've never had that. It's because I'm not putting insulin into my body. You know, and even though I'm insulin resistant, I've said to them before, what's the point of putting insulin into my body if the body can't use that insulin? Because that's what we have. Because that's what we have to do. It's not making me any better. It's making me worse. I've already got insulin going around my body, which ain't doing anything, because I'm insulin resistant. And you'll get me to put more and more and more in. You know, I think that's stupid. And then when I show them the results, they say, oh, well, okay, well, we'll put you onto this tablet because this might happen up. Get lost. You're not putting me on any more medications. I don't trust you. You know, you show them good results. They're not happy about it. They don't believe you, even though the results are right in front of them. The blood tests, the results are right in front of them. They've taken the blood test, so I can't lie. Just that they won't accept it. But anyway, I'm doing well on it. It's going well. If anybody's interested in the keto diet, like I say, do your own research into it first. There are a few things to watch out for, and there is a lot of misinformation about it out there. If you suffer from epilepsy, seizures, or whatever else, if you've had a stroke, got heart disease, again, look into it. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a qualified doctor, but I know my own body. And I know, for me personally, it works. Anybody who's done a keto diet have all said to me how good it is, how well it works. You know, I've never met one person who said, I did that, made me really ill. So, it's worth looking at if you're depressed, PTSD, or something like that. Again, look into this diet. It's worth it. If you suffer from anxiety, look into it. It's worth it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully I've recorded this, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Thanks for watching. Please do a like and subscribe. Much appreciated. And my friends, I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.